Okay, I'm sitting next to Mr. Mark Wood. Mark Wood is CEO of Future, based in the United Kingdom. Future is publishing special interest brands in content areas like music, design, technology, automotive, films, games and crafts. And among the top 3 brands are T3 on tech and design and gadgets. And other brands are like Classic Rock and Total Film. Well, I have a few questions based on what Mr. Wood was telling during the Digital Innovator Summit earlier this morning. Mr. Wood, can you first comment on the way you are moving your brands to digital?
Yeah, well, as a company, we've seen, I think everybody in the organization realizes that print sales are in a structural decline and that the company cannot survive just by printing magazines. So everybody has really got their heads around how we take our brands and our content and make them multi-platform. And what we are doing is we're growing big websites and we are producing digital editions on tablets. And those are the 2 core strategies. And on websites, we take our content, we build up powerful websites, we're building interactivity, we're starting to develop e-commerce, which means we either help retailers to sell to our audience or we sell. And we're just building a richer experience around our content, and at the same time we're trying to bring in new audiences from outside our core markets, in other words, from other parts of the world. So we're taking what are traditionally UK-centric brands and making them global brands online. Yes. And at the same time, we've seen the emergence of tablets and smartphones as another opportunity to build whole new revenue streams. Because on phones, and in particular on tablets, on the iPad, for example, people will pay for content. And that is fantastic news. And it means that we can develop digital editions of all our titles. We have now 70 on the iPad. And we are seeing very good sales, and those sales are holding up very well. We expect them to start to grow quite a lot in the next few months, but already this has been a much bigger opportunity than we expected. So we have interactive brands on the iPad such as T3 and Total Film, and we have straightforward replicas of the magazines. But increasingly we're making everything interactive with embedded video and with more links. So all in all, we're taking all these core brands and saying, how do we make them strong web brands? How do we put them on tablets? And how do we therefore create a digital marketplace which enables us to do more?
Okay, that's very clear. Thank you. I can imagine when we compare, like you said earlier this morning, traditional print-based publishing to this real true digital publishing, that publishing has become widely more complicated. How do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, the core skills are still important. The core skills are fantastic content and good design and good knowledge of the audience and good awareness of what people want to read. And for us, that's a bit easier because we're in very specialist niches, whether it's technology or it's film or it's cycling. We know what the customer wants or what our audiences want, and we package that. But of course, as you move into a digital space, you've got to start to find new ways to make money. And on websites in particular, people don't like paying for access to websites. And so what we've started to do is say, how can we generate more revenue around that audience? One way was to add video, because you can generate more advertising revenue. But we've also started to really create areas where people can buy things, where they can also join clubs, where we can offer them specialist information which they'll pay for. So we build up tier after tier of special services and products so that we can get our audiences to at least engage with advertisers and retailers, or to pay directly for content.
Mm-hmm. And can you comment briefly on what that means for your internal publishing organization?
We've had to make quite drastic changes. We've and part of the problem is the cost base is quite high for print products, so we've had to try and make efficiencies where we can. What we've had to do is stretch our production teams across print and digital. We now say you have to produce everything for all platforms, and people get that, but that's a lot of extra work. But we have also, we've reduced quite a lot of traditional print jobs, and at the same time we've recruited in new people with different skills, and those skills are typically in audience growth, dealing with Facebook, dealing with Twitter, helping to promote our brands, helping to get audiences from Facebook back to our websites. All those skills are new. We've brought in people with digital commercial skills, people who know how to manage online advertising and know how to engage with advertisers. And we're now bringing in people who help make advertisements for the iPad and for websites, because that's a whole new business for us too.
Yes. So logically maybe, but you had also to say goodbye to some people who couldn't be at this transformation, who were incapable of managing, and bringing new people.
Yeah, it's a tough business. It's a battle for survival, and I think traditional publishing businesses everywhere are facing enormous challenges with the decline of sales of print products. Print products will be with us for years because they're wonderful and they're beautiful and we love them, but there is a structural decline in print sales, not universal, but across most parts of the market. So we've had to reduce our cost base, and what we have done is reduced our headcount, our numbers, the number of staff we have engaged in producing traditional print products.
Yes. Okay. Well, last question. The gang of the big five, as you call them, I think. Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and the last one.
Where are we?
Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. Yes, Microsoft.
Yes.
Is it more of an opportunity or more of a threat to future?
By and large, it's an opportunity. These are organizations which are opening up the way to new markets and also making it easier to reach those markets. Apple produces fabulous products. The iPad has opened up a whole new market of tablets, reaching millions of people, and we can sell our products on those tablets. And they're beautiful and they're well designed. Google helps people find our content. So by and large, as long as you work with them, and we try to work with them all, I think they all offer opportunities. If you look at, it's not universal, because where does Amazon go next? Does Amazon try and get into publishing? More and more it adds on advisory content. We could see Amazon becoming more a competitor. Don't know, but we are moving that way as well towards e-commerce and potentially either working with them or competing with them. So it's complicated, but by and large, these are the organizations which are changing the world. We work closely with all of them. We work very closely with Microsoft on the Xbox, because we do games publishing, with Apple, with Google, and with Facebook. These are ways to reach new audiences. They're also paths to engage with existing audiences and deliver a better service. Yeah. So I think we can keep our customers happier by utilizing the tools they offer.
Yeah. And when we look at those platforms and we look at the advertisement part of the income, there we heard in another story this morning that, well, those big four or big five are taking lots of income, digital income to them, on the whole digital advertisement money that has to be divided between publishers and those platform parties, so to speak. So there they seem to be more competitors, or is that?
There is an element there of competing for advertising dollars. Yeah. But on the other hand, we do also see new opportunities to generate more advertising revenue. Already in our business, over 40% of all our advertising revenue is now digital. And in our US business, it's well over 50%. And we would expect it to be majority digital quite soon. And that means we're already in the space of helping digital advertisers, helping advertisers reach online and mobile audiences. What is interesting, I think, is seeing that on websites and on tablets, there's opportunity to change the way advertisers reach their audiences. And we are very keen to work with the advertisers, and we do work with the advertisers, to try and develop new ways of advertising.
Making it more interactive.
Far more interactive, far more interesting, and in keeping with the style of the product they're in.
Yeah.
So we do T3 interactive ads for some companies, and they are short, sharp, sexy,
Yeah.
and they go with the brand.
And we're only in the beginning of tablet
Yeah.
of the tablet
Absolutely.
adoption, so there's a whole market to win still.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all in all, quite a positive story, I think. You agree with me?
I think it's very exciting.
Yeah.
You can either sit and look in terror at the changes that are happening and say, oh my God, this is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say, this is fantastic because we're getting all these tools. We're getting the ability to reach whole new marketplaces we couldn't reach before. We export a lot of magazines, but we can now reach much bigger audiences in North America, in Europe, in Asia with our products than we ever could before. And we don't have to print the magazine. We don't have to put it in a truck. We don't have to put it on a plane. And we don't have to rely on somebody in a shop somewhere selling it.
Yeah.
So suddenly, all those costs have gone. We can reach our audience,
Yeah.
we can get them to sign up, and that is exciting.
And now there's, of course, one big difference between England and Holland, where we publish media facts and where Dutch publishers will have to have an answer on the digital age. Do you have any advice to them? Because it's less easy, maybe scalable, the content.
Yeah, scale is a challenge.
Yeah.
It's easier operating in English in
Yeah.
that sense, because we then look at the American market as our natural big next market.
Yeah.
But you don't need big numbers to have a digital success if you can keep the costs under control. And we've developed app software, and we also, we're not the only ones, which enables you to keep the workflows under control and do new things at quite low cost. So I think the opportunities in the Netherlands are exactly the same as they are anywhere else. You've got a big market. It's one which has traditionally been very strong in publishing and very, very loyal. So I would think there are lots of exciting opportunities as well. And Holland's a very sophisticated country which likes new and innovative things. So I think what we've done at Future is to say, let's be bold.
Yeah.
Let's not be worried, let's not be frightened. We're going to lose revenues in some places and some things are not going to work, but let's be courageous and just go for it.
Okay, well, that's a very good end of this interview. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Wood.
you. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Thanks.